Hello viewers, this is Dr. K.S.Neharkar, Assistant Professor, Social Law College, Parvani. I welcome you in my YouTube channel at lecture series on labor laws first. Lecture. So friends, in previous lecture we have discussed the principles of domestic inquiry, and in this lecture we are going to discuss what shall be the process of domestic inquiry. This process is a very lengthy part, therefore we are going to discuss this process in 4 parts. So in this lecture we are going to discuss first part of process of domestic inquiry. See, as you know, the principles of domestic inquiry are necessary to ensure fairness in award of punishment to workmen. This inquiry helps to prevent industrial dispute also, because when any workman is punished fairly for the misconduct committed by him, then there is no feeling of injustice by employer to employees. Therefore there is very less chances that dispute may arise due to the award of punishment. Therefore it is necessary to ensure fairness of punishment. It also encourages good relation between employer and employee. Therefore the process of domestic inquiry itself is basic principle, and that must be followed while inquiry of misconduct as well as to in punishment of workmen. The process starts with the preliminary inquiry and it ends with award of punishment by disciplinary authority. So let me discuss the different steps that are adopted or followed in process of domestic inquiry. So this inquiry starts with a preliminary inquiry. See, the name itself suggests preliminary inquiry is initial inquiry, or it is a prima facie inquiry before the domestic inquiry starts officially. So this is the first step before formal inquiry takes place. It enables employer to determine whether there is a prima facie case against workmen and whether there is a need to conduct domestic inquiry. So this preliminary inquiry is nothing but the fact finding procedure. Here employer inquires whether the workman has committed misconduct or not. So and he further inquires whether there is need to conduct domestic inquiry officially. Regarding that, there is a case law, Champaklal Chimanlal Shaw versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court observed that preliminary inquiry is really for satisfaction of employer to decide whether the punitive action should be taken. It also helps employer to collect facts and evidences against worker to ascertain whether he has committed misconduct or not. So in short, the preliminary inquiry is nothing but the homework for employer to initiate a regular domestic inquiry. So this is the first step. Preliminary inquiry is the first step, and see, the holding preliminary inquiry, it is not the compulsory part on employer. It is optional. Even if any inquiry commences without conducting preliminary inquiry, and if the punishment is fairly awarded, it does not violates the rules of natural justice. Then second stage is the charge sheet. Friends, charge sheet, as name itself suggests, it is nothing but the sheet containing charges against the accused person. Actually this process starts with framing of charge sheet and supply it to accused. Friends, so it is a charge sheet containing charges against the workman. The quasi-judicial character of domestic inquiry requires that the person who is going to be punished for misconduct must be told about his accusation. He must be properly informed about his accusation. Therefore, the framing and issue of charge sheet to workman is very important. It is very necessary. Now we have to see what are the valid charge sheet, or what are the essentials of valid charge sheet. For the validity of charge sheet, the charge sheet must be prepared, or that must contain following essentials. The first one is it must be clear and not vague. Charges should be clearly mentioned, spelled, and it should not be mentioned in a vague language. So it must specifically mention what is the offense, what are the material facts which constitutes misconduct. So then it must contain time and place of commission of misconduct. That charge should specifically mention at what time and at what place the misconduct is committed. Then misconduct mentioned in a charge sheet must be stated as per the standing order of industry. That should be already included into the standing orders of industry. Standing order of industry is nothing but the rules and regulations of, or the terms and conditions of employment which are sanctioned by appropriate authority for particular industry. So their misconduct should also be mentioned, and that should be sanctioned from appropriate authority. It must contain proposed maximum punishment for misconduct. That should also be mentioned. Then it must ask explanation from employee on charge sheet within specific time. That is also one of the essential. Then it must be issued under the signature of disciplinary authority. Charge sheet should be issued. Then another important thing in this stage is the service of charge sheet. There must be strict proof about the service of charge sheet to workman, accused person. The charge sheet may be served to workman through any of following methods. There are different methods, and the charge sheet may be served either through these methods. First thing is the delivery of charge sheet by hand, by obtaining acknowledgement of that workman. Secondly, when he refuses to accept the charge sheet, then two witnesses should be called and their signature should be taken with remark that the person has refused to accept the charge sheet. Or thirdly, it can be served by registered post acknowledgement, RPAD. So these are the three methods through which the charge sheet should be served to workman, because it is the rule of natural justice that the person should be informed in advance about the allegations and about the inquiry. In case if the delivery is not possible even by delivery RPD post, then charge sheet may be published in local newspaper. Then normally the service of charge sheet is compulsory, so that workman can know the charges against him, so it enables him to put his defense. So these are very important aspects. This is the first part of principles of domestic inquiry, where we have discussed what is the preliminary inquiry and what are the essential elements in charge sheet. So friends, if you liked my video, please like it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. So don't forget to subscribe, and even don't forget to click the ring by which you can receive my next videos. Thank you friends.